Have you ever pondered the importance of bread in our daily lives? This humble food item, often taken for granted, holds a significant place in our lives. It's not just about filling empty stomachs, it's about tradition, culture, and even survival. Bread, in its various forms, graces tables from the Far East to the bustling West, from the freezing north to the sun-kissed south. It is a universal language that speaks of home, comfort, and sustenance. From the simplicity of a morning toast, crisped to perfection, to the intricate layers of a gourmet sandwich, bread accompanies us in our daily routines. It's not just a food item, it's a symbol of prosperity, a mark of hospitality, a token of love. It has been at the heart of revolutions, it has sealed friendships, and it has even been a form of currency. Indeed, bread plays a pivotal role in our lives, but how much do we really know about its history? Our journey with bread begins in the Neolithic Era, around 10,000 years ago. This period marked a significant turning point in human history as our ancestors transitioned from nomadic hunter-gatherers to settled farmers. The advent of agriculture transformed human societies and their relationship with the environment. But how does this relate to our beloved bread? Well, as humans began to cultivate land, they also started to grow cereal grains. The cultivation of grains such as wheat and barley was not only a way to secure a food source, but it also led to an extraordinary discovery: the creation of bread. These early farmers discovered that by grinding the grains into flour, mixing it with water, and then baking it, they could create a simple yet nourishing food source that could be stored and consumed later. This early form of bread was likely flat and unleavened, resembling today's flatbreads more than the fluffy loaves we are accustomed to. Yet this seemingly simple food product would go on to have profound and far-reaching effects on human society. Now you might be wondering, how do we know all this? Well, the first evidence of bread production dates back even further than the dawn of agriculture. Exciting archaeological findings from sites in Jordan have unearthed the remains of flatbreads made from wild cereals and tubers, dating back an astonishing 14,000 years. That's 4,000 years before the advent of farming. These discoveries suggest that the invention of bread was not a result of agriculture, but rather it may have been one of the catalysts that encouraged the shift towards farming in the first place. Bread, it seems, was so good that our ancestors decided it was worth settling down for. And so the stage was set for bread to become a cornerstone of human civilization. From these humble beginnings, bread would rise to become a symbol of sustenance, community, and culture, threading its way through the tapestry of human history, one loaf at a time. As civilizations flourished, so did the art of bread making. Let's take a trip down memory lane and delve into the era of ancient civilizations, where bread was much more than just a staple food. In the heart of the ancient world, Egypt, bread held a prominent place in society. It wasn't just a part of their daily diet, but also acted as a form of currency. Yes, you heard that right. Bread was so valuable that it was often used in barter trade, a testament to its significance. Egyptian workers, such as those who toiled to construct the majestic pyramids, were often paid in bread and beer. Imagine that. Moving westwards, we encounter the Greeks, who were instrumental in refining the art of bread making. They introduced different types of flour into the process. By experimenting with barley, oats, rye, and wheat, they expanded the variety of bread available, each with its own unique taste and texture. This innovation transformed bread making from a monotonous task into a creative culinary endeavor. Not to be outdone, the Romans took bread making to an entirely new level. They established the first bakeries, professionalizing this age-old practice. The Romans further standardized the bread-making process, ensuring consistent quality across the empire. This was a game-changer, as it allowed bread to be mass-produced and widely available, making it an even more integral part of daily life. Bread was not just a food item in these ancient civilizations, it was a symbol of prosperity, a means of exchange, and a reflection of societal advancements. It carried a weight that extended far beyond its simple ingredients of flour and water. In these societies, bread making was not just a culinary art, but a cornerstone of civilization itself. The evolution of bread, from a basic sustenance to a varied and sophisticated food, mirrored the progress of these ancient societies. Bread, thus, became an integral part of society, not just as a food, but also as an economic commodity. As we'll see in our next chapter, this story continues to unfold through the Middle Ages and beyond. The Middle Ages saw bread taking on a more symbolic role. This period of history, stretching from the 5th to the 15th century, brought with it a new spiritual dimension to bread, particularly within Christianity. In Christian rituals, bread became synonymous with the body of Christ, transforming the humble loaf into a sacred object of reverence. The Last Supper, where Jesus broke bread with his disciples, marked the inception of this practice, known as the Eucharist or Holy Communion. This ritual, still observed today, serves as a powerful reminder of the spiritual significance bread acquired over time. But the Middle Ages also saw bread evolve in more earthly ways. The introduction of leavened bread marked a significant turning point. This was a bread that rose, a bread with body and substance. It was no longer just a flat, hard disc, but a fluffy, filling food that could satisfy even the fiercest of hunger. And as the Middle Ages gave way to the Renaissance and beyond, the types of bread began to multiply. From the rye breads of the north to the crusty baguettes of France, from the hearty black breads of Germany to the soft, sweet panettone of Italy, bread began to reflect the regions from which it came. Each loaf, each roll, each bun became a testament to the culture and traditions of its people. In many ways, the story of bread in the Middle Ages and beyond is a story of diversity and unity. It's a story of how one simple food item can take on so many forms and meanings, yet still hold a common thread that binds us all. Whether it's a sacred symbol or a simple sustenance, bread transcends borders and brings people together. From the sacred to the ordinary, bread continued to weave its way into the tapestry of human history. In the modern era, bread reflects our changing tastes and technology. As we ventured into the 19th century, the Industrial Revolution drastically transformed the way we produced bread. The once labor-intensive process was streamlined, thanks to the advent of mechanized mills and bakeries. These advancements allowed for mass production of bread, making it more accessible and affordable to the general populace. As the century progressed, we witnessed another monumental shift with the invention of the first bread slicing machine. This innovation came to us in the early 20th century, courtesy of Otto Frederick Rohwedder, an American inventor. With this invention, the phrase, "the best thing since sliced bread" was born, and indeed it was. Sliced bread meant convenience, uniformity, and a new level of accessibility that changed the way we consumed this staple food. However, as we moved into the 21st century, a new trend began to emerge. In contrast to the mass-produced bread of the previous centuries, we saw a rise in the popularity of artisanal bakeries. These establishments harked back to the traditional techniques of bread making, valuing quality over quantity. The breads they produced were often handcrafted using high-quality ingredients and time-honored methods. This resurgence signified a collective yearning for authenticity and a connection to our roots. Moreover, this shift towards artisanal bread making also represents a broader societal shift towards sustainability and conscious consumption. People are increasingly seeking out food products that are not only delicious, but also ethically and sustainably produced. So, from the industrial mills of the 19th century to the artisanal bakeries of today, the evolution of bread has been a fascinating journey. It's a journey that encapsulates our changing tastes, our technological advancements, and our shifting societal values. Indeed, the story of bread mirrors our own journey as a civilization. So, we've traveled through time exploring the history of bread. From its humble beginnings as a staple food in the earliest civilizations, it has evolved into a symbol of culture, tradition, and unity across the globe. We've seen how bread has been more than just nourishment. It's been a cornerstone of human development, a catalyst for social change, and an enduring part of our shared heritage. In the ancient world, bread was revered, even deified, serving not only as sustenance but also playing a pivotal role in religious rituals. As we moved into the Middle Ages and beyond, bread became a marker of social status, with the type of bread one ate reflecting their societal standing. And today, in our modern times, bread continues to be a universal comfort food. Its countless varieties testament to the diversity of human culture and culinary ingenuity. Next time you bite into a piece of bread, remember the rich history that has gone into that humble loaf.